Here's a story of a bipolar delusional hobbit from The Lord of the Rings, titled The Hobbit Who Dared Dream. In the serene village of Bywater, nestled deep within the Shire, there lived a hobbit named Hargan Proudfoot. Hargan was known for his peculiar ways, his habit of speaking to birds, his ever-changing moods, and his uncanny belief that he was destined for greatness. The other hobbits dismissed him as eccentric, a little too excitable for their liking, but Hargan had dreams that went far beyond the simple life of the Shire. The call to adventure. One bright morning, Hargan woke up with a revelation. He was convinced that a great dark secret was hidden beneath the party tree, the massive oak that stood as a symbol of unity in the Shire. The Dark Lord's treasure lies beneath it, he declared, bursting into the Green Dragon Inn. The hobbits exchanged glances, some chuckling under their breath, others shaking their heads, but Hargan's eyes blazed with conviction. "You laugh now, but when the treasure is unearthed, you'll all thank me," he proclaimed, his voice cracking with excitement. Mania takes hold. Hargan spent the next 3 days obsessively digging beneath the party tree. His energy seemed endless, and he spoke incessantly about how the treasure would make him the most famous hobbit in all of Middle-earth. However, his enthusiasm turned to paranoia when a group of curious children began watching him work. "They're spies of Mordor," Hargan hissed, to no one in particular. "Sauron's eye sees all." He began covering his tracks, scattering the dirt at odd hours, and sleeping in a makeshift burrow beneath the tree. A sudden descent. On the fourth day, exhaustion set in. Hargan sat amidst the rubble of his self-dug pit, tears streaming down his face. "It's all a lie," he muttered to a passing squirrel. "I'll never be more than a silly hobbit with dirty feet and mad ideas." The squirrel tilted its head, chittered, and dashed away, leaving Hargan to wallow in despair. But in his sorrow, Hargan had another epiphany. "Of course, I've been looking in the wrong place. The treasure isn't under the party tree, it's in Mount Doom. I must travel to Mordor and claim my destiny. A perilous journey begins." Without a second thought, Hargan packed a small sack of provisions, bread, cheese, and an apple, and set out. His journey was aimless at first, as he had no map, but he told himself that the stars would guide him. Along the way, he encountered a wandering dwarf named Thrain. Thrain, intrigued by the hobbit's manic energy, decided to humor him. "Why would a hobbit want to go to Mordor?" he asked. "To reclaim what's mine," Hargan said with unwavering certainty. "The One Ring belongs to me." Thrain laughed so hard that he nearly fell off his pony. "You're a strange one, Hargan, but the road to Mordor isn't for the likes of hobbits. Perhaps you should stick to the Shire." A turning point. Hargan's mood darkened. "Even you doubt me," he said, his voice trembling. "But you'll see. They'll all see." He stormed off, leaving Thrain behind. His journey became more perilous as he crossed into lands unfamiliar to hobbits. He faced wolves, evaded bandits, and even stumbled into an orc patrol, only to escape by sheer luck when they mistook him for a child and lost interest. The hallucination. As Hargan wandered through the dead marshes, hunger and fatigue began to warp his mind. He saw visions of grand halls filled with feasting hobbits, all of them raising their mugs to toast him, the savior of Middle-earth. He imagined himself wearing the One Ring, commanding armies and defeating Sauron single-handedly. "Bow before Hargan the Mighty," he shouted to the empty swamp, arms raised high. His voice echoed eerily, sending crows scattering from the nearby trees. A dose of reality. Eventually, Hargan collapsed. When he awoke, he found himself staring into the face of a familiar figure, Samwise Gamgee. "Mr. Frodo and I saw you wandering, looking half-starved," Sam said, offering him a piece of bread. "What's a hobbit like you doing in a place like this?" Hargan's delusion faltered as he gazed at Sam. I thought I was destined for greatness," he said quietly. Sam chuckled softly. "Greatness doesn't always mean treasure and glory, lad. Sometimes it's just about doing your part. Come on, let's get you home." A humbling return. Hargan returned to the Shire, a shadow of the hobbit who had set out. The other hobbits welcomed him back with cautious smiles, treating him with a newfound kindness. Though he still dreamed of adventure, Hargan began to appreciate the quiet beauty of the Shire. In his heart, he knew he may never be a hero like Frodo or Sam, but he had learned one invaluable lesson. Sometimes the greatest journeys are the ones that bring you back home. The end.